And so am I. Yes, good. It's all.
I thought you were going to take a while. I wanted to have another sticky chocolate.
Oh, go for it.
No, I'm
Is
not.
it white chocolate again?
Yes! How did you know?
Because you're probably the only people I know. Granted, that isn't a big flex. Who likes white chocolate the most?
It's because it's delicious.
It's most like I said, I only know 3 people, so it's not much of a flex. But to like white chocolate above everybody else, every like dark chocolate and milk chocolate, I've never actually heard that before.
Okay.
I've never met anyone who prefers it. It's nutty.
I do.
No, it's not nutty.
It's not nutty. It's just
fatty.
pure milk chocolate.
Hey!
Hey! Okay.
I'm a dark chocolate person.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's healthy, or do you like the taste?
No, I'm not a super sweet person. You know, I like it bitter. Not super dark chocolate. I like, Bourneville chocolate, as in Cadbury's Bourneville.
Oh, okay.
The red one.
Yes.
Because it's a bit sweet and a bit dark. That's my type of jam.
That makes sense. Yeah, the Bourneville one's the tastiest, as opposed to that 70% lint.
Yeah, those are okay in the right context, but no. With coffee, those are quite nice.
Okay.
So this. I bet you Trudy's like, this is a weird podcast this week. We're talking about chocolate.
Just talking about chocolate. What's going on?
Oh God, we're recording this as well.
Yes.
This is the soft opening.
Cold open, baby.
Yeah, cold open. Sorry.
Back to a brand new episode of everyone's definitely favorite podcast, the Critical Arcade Podcast. I'm your co-host, Nick.
And I'm Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Nick. Are you well?
Yes, I'm not only well, I'm Batman. Did you get that? Did Discord pick that up?
It did pick that up. And the funny thing is, I laugh at that because that's not a joke. He really would love to be Batman. I'm sure everybody would love to be Batman.
Yes, who wouldn't?
I'll take the billionaire side. The vigilante side, not so much.
Oh, right. Okay, that's a good point. If you could choose...
But yeah, it's like people always argue, is Batman a superhero? And his superpower is just being a billionaire?
He's got money. That's his superpower.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hilarious. It's true.
But everybody should know that you've actually loved Batman. Sorry, that sounds like a weird sentence. For a very long time, you've been a fan of Batman for a very long time.
That's very true.
Right?
I've been an avid Batman enjoyer since a very young age. It's because he's the best. He's the coolest.
Yeah, but you're not going to say Adam West Batman, are you? You're going to say Christian Bale
what,
Batman.
Adam West because he's got shark repellent.
I loved Alan West. Alan West was the best. Now, granted, that's showing my age a bit. As a child, I watched 1 or 2
of Adam West's Batman's. Really? Batman. That's more than I've watched. Yeah, I just know of the shark repellent joke.
Yeah. I loved Adam West is the best. But anyway, I understand you being just, basically just 12, that Christian Bale would be your Batman.
No.
No?
No,
George
of course
Clooney.
Not. No.
Sorry. Yeah, who?
Come on, it's obvious, isn't it?
What are the Batmans? You're not going to be Kevin Costner, because that's also too old for you.
No, it's not. You're close, but no.
Not Val Kilmer, because that would be insane.
No,
too.
Definitely not.
Why am I forgetting all my Batmans? Robert Pattinson. If you say Robert Pattinson, I'm hanging up.
No, he's not a bad Batman. People still giving him a bad rap because of Twilight.
He was alright. Yeah,
people need to forget about Twilight. Watch The Lighthouse, and
I'll give him some time to develop into a good Batman. His first one wasn't too bad. It's not Ben Affleck. I can't remember which Batman I'm missing. Are you miss? Go on.
I think I know it's weird, and there's a running joke that I've not seen any movies.
Yeah,
but I'm also I enjoy what A24 is doing to the industry. Right, it seems like they're giving huge budgets to these indie films and new ideas, right? I respect the hell out of that. So I sometimes make time to watch an A24 flick.
Okay, and the I'm a bit lost now. Who's the actor who plays Batman in that? Or are we talking voice actors?
No, I'm talking about. I've seen The Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes, I'm with you now. Yeah, sorry. I thought you mean yes. I have not actually watched that movie. Strangely
It's
enough.
great. It's great. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but I mean that's kind of the going rate
fine.
for A24 films.
Yeah. I agree.
And it was made by, I think the director's name is Robert Eggers.
Okay.
Who also made the 2015 film The Witch.
I don't know that. That sounds like
The
a
Witch,
horror
of course
movie,
you know. It's got Anya Taylor-Joy, the lady who voiced Peach.
Oh yes, yeah, I know her. Yes, I have seen. No, that's right.
Yeah, she's the main.
Kind of like Salem Witch Trials.
Yes. Now you're getting it.
Yeah,
okay.
that's right. Yeah.
So you know of the movie.
Yeah, correct.
So these are his only 2 films, The Witch and The Lighthouse. And they're so good. So good.
It's funny the movies you've seen. You've not seen, like, I don't know, Total Recall and all the old school Alien movies, but you have seen an A20 kind of indie-esque type movie.
Yes.
Or 2 of them, by all accounts. Yeah, that's cool. Like I say, tastes are tastes.
I would
But
watch...
who's your Batman?
Oh, right! I was gonna pivot from Robert Eggers to Ari Aster.
Damn, okay.
My Batman is the one featured in this episode today, none other than Kevin Conroy.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, did you?
You
didn't? No, you didn't.
No, I knew it wasn't going to be mainstream Batman. Let's put it that way.
Right.
You know,
Okay,
cinema Batman.
Yes.
Now, so is he just Batman in the games, or is he in the animated series and stuff like that as well? Yeah, which series or which movie?
The original Batman animated series from '92, I think.
Oh, that's the good one. I remember that one. That's a good one. No, that's
right?
true. That is a good one.
The Batman animated series.
Yeah, no, that's true. That was cool. I remember that one.
Not just that, but yeah.
I didn't know he voiced. I didn't know he was the voice of Batman. Then I do now.
Yes,
you've enlightened
he has
me.
been
But
the titular voice of Batman for almost 30 years, until I think it was earlier this year or last year. I cannot remember. He sadly passed away.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah, I remember that. That was sad.
Yeah,
because he's such a legend. That's it's true.
Yes, and he bounces off of Mark Hamill's Joker so good. So
good. One thing I'll say about him, it's weird. He doesn't look like a Batman in real life, like the actor, right? He looks a bit like Gandalf or like a Ian McKellen type. If you look at him, at least I've seen him in his late videos, so I've only seen him as he's gotten older. He looks more like a frail, skinny, wizardy man, and then you hear him do the Batman voice, and you're like, whoa.
Whoa,
that's
okay.
So cool. That's so cool. You must have got all the ladies. Like, it's one of those
this guy,
weird things about the fella.
He's a bit old, but he knows how to.
Oh yeah, no,
right?
That's true. Yeah, it's true, no doubt. Anyway, if anybody was wondering, the game we're playing,
the same. It's the same thing for. Have you seen the voice announcer for the Halo multiplayer games?
I haven't. No.
You've heard the voice. It's this guy.
I've heard the voice. I've just never seen the guy. Yeah.
Multi-kill.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I do know that.
God-like. All those types of voices. Again, it's just another old dude who's a tad overweight.
It breaks the mysticism of it all, doesn't it? When you just see like a normal person. Yeah.
But man, these people's voices are golden, just like Christopher Judge. Oh man.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know the guy who does the American cinemas near you and things like that.
Yeah. The trailer voice man.
Yeah, he's cool. He's like a cool
really?
Black guy. So he comes across exactly how you'd picture him. He's kind of a cool, smooth looking dude.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. The same with I'm gonna raise it again, but Christopher Judge.
Yeah.
He could very easily just put on a Kratos outfit and he'd be Kratos.
No, that's true. That's very true. No, he comes across exactly he looks like Kratos. But then I know him from Stargate. You've never watched Stargate,
right? Yes, you watched Stargate.
And he was cool in that. So I've always been a fan of his. It really bugged me because I didn't notice it was his voice in God of War 2018. Yeah, and that really bugged me because it's so obviously his voice. Like you can't get past it. It's so obvious.
Did he have that deep gravelly voice in Stargate as well?
Yeah, he was. I think he played Tilk or something like that. No, his voice was that entirely.
Wow.
It's the exact
That's
same
so cool.
voice that he does. Less emotion, but yeah, he does have the exact same tone and voice in Stargate.
Let's pivot back into this week's game.
Let's.
This week, it's obvious by reading the title and us praising Kevin Conroy that the game we played this week is Batman Arkham City. One of, if not the best Batman games to have ever been made.
Oh yeah, I agree entirely. Like I said, I was shocked because this is the second one, right?
Yes, the second one that Rocksteady's made.
Yeah, and I was looking at the developer, like you said, is Rocksteady, and
Yes.
I was looking at it. First of all, I didn't know it was British, so that just made me
What are you,
far more
Rocksteady?
proud. Yeah,
No
it's a
way.
British company. Originally,
Cool.
it's under the Warner Brothers umbrella, so to speak, but originally was very much a British company, and I couldn't believe it. They had this game, and before it was Arkham Asylum, right?
There we go, yes.
Okay. And then do you know what game, the only one other game they had before they got the Batman IP? It was called... Go on.
No, I don't know. Is it some Looney Tunes game?
No, it's Urban Chaos Riot Response.
What?
Like, some like generic, I don't know, C kind of game about being a chaos policeman and holding back riots. And that was literally the only other game they had. And
when was that?
Batman.
Because Arkham Asylum was 2009.
Oh, this was like 2 or 3 years before that. I can't imagine the business meeting where these people came in with the swagger. Like, we made this game. Now we want Batman. And like Warner
Not only
Brothers
did
are
they
like,
get Batman,
wow.
but they hit it out of the park.
They nailed it. No, it's crazy. I can't get. I was expecting, looking at the developer Rocksteady, because even in my head, I figured I'd seen Rocksteady on some other games or something like that, because we all know Batman, and I was thinking, I must have heard of Rocksteady. It must have been loads of games they've done, and they had one other, and it was a generic cop type game. I can only imagine. Not actually played it, and I was like, what? God, like I said, they knocked it out the park on both.
Truly.
But that's crazy. I could not believe that.
I remember playing Arkham Asylum when it first came out. I had a buddy who had it on PS3, so we went over and we would spend entire nights, just Batmaning all over Arkham Asylum, and it was the best.
Yeah,
Truly.
I remember when it was. It's one of those. It's one of those things that I feel quite sad because I've gotten older. I kind of forgot about it, and going back to it, you realize that this is one of those gems that came out.
Yes,
that, you know, like Red Dead Redemption 2, and like say Elden Ring, and like even Baldur's Gate 3.
Or
it's one
Ocarina
of those
of
ones...
Time. There we go.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those games.
GoldenEye. Sorry, I'm just going to continue.
No, you're good. You're good. Just test that trivia knowledge of yours. It's one of those ones where you're like, where did this come from? This is insane. It just pushed the envelope on so many factors and was so accessible. And both the games, even this game won the Game of the Year 2011.
What didn't it win?
Yeah, no, it did win a load.
2011.
That's what I wrote down. Maybe I was wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
But yeah, it's remarkable. Going back to the games, I actually forgot how good they are. It's funny you mentioned like the animated series because they play like watching those.
Yes.
You know, there's so much twists and so much to do and so much like. So I'm probably going to the podcast a little bit. Just even the combat is like watching an episode of the Batman's animation because it's fun instead of just insane or overly complex.
Truly. Yes.
Anyway, should we jump straight into narrative then?
Let's do it. I think the narrative for this game is... Most people argue that the narrative for this game is the best one out of all the Batman games that we've ever gotten. Right? The one made in Arkham City. It's not a super long narrative, but it's one of those games, quality over quantity.
Yeah. Tons
This
of
game,
twists, tons of little things. Yeah, no doubt.
I don't know.
100%.
You can finish this in 9 or 10 hours.
Yeah, if you go straight through. Yeah, I can see
but
that.
Those are some good hours. Those are some excellent, right? Bang for your buck. I don't think that whatever Assassin's Creed's doing now even compares to what games like this is doing.
No, I
agree. Same with Assassin's Creed 2.
No, I agree. There's that sweet spot between making a story that is engaging,
Yes,
and not being too long, because you're going to lose engagement after being too long. And
yes.
this does have that sweet spot. It's also, like I said, reminiscent of reading the comics. I've not read many comics, but it's one of those parts where you play for 30 minutes and then you're like, oh, I need to know what happens next. You know, in this regards, you know, why am I doing this? And why is Penguin doing that? And what the hell's going to happen to Joker now? And things like that always leaves the storyline always leaves you wanting more after every little segment.
Oh, totally.
And that's the sweet spot in regards to narrative for me.
I always think that because there's so much, Batman has such a rich history with characters and villains and events and all these things. People think it tends to be quite easy to make a story for a Batman game. Oh,
yeah,
you
I
just
can
take
understand that. Yeah,
some of the villains and Batman fights them, and
yeah, exactly.
It's automatically engaging because you like Batman and you know these villains. I think it's actually incredibly difficult to pull off a good narrative and include most of the cast for a Batman story, right? To include Two-Face and Penguin and Joker and Clayface and Ra's al Ghul and Hugo Strange and everyone. That's difficult. That's not easy.
That's what I also kind of loved about the narrative in this game and the game before. Now, I'm not a massive Batman fan. I know Batman enough. I watched all the movies, but I only know Two-Face, Joker, the Riddler, I guess Ra's al Ghul with the latest movies and stuff like that. But I didn't know Clayface. I didn't know the puppet guy. I forget his name. The ventriloquist little
Scarface.
wooden. No, is that Scarface? The little gangster puppet?
Yes, I think it's called Scarface or something.
Okay, similar. I don't know. I'll bow to your knowledge here. And all the other the Bat guy, the Zaz. Is his name Zaz? The guy who...
It's Zaz, yes. That's not Bat guy. That's the guy that cuts himself and kills people with no remorse. He's a true
I didn't know all these characters.
That's Zaz. Yes.
Yeah, it was really cool for me to develop and learn about them. Like I only thought Batman had Joker, Two-Face, the Riddler. I only thought I didn't know there were like sub characters and like sub stories.
There are lots. It almost doubles in the sequel, Arkham Knight.
Yeah, I was really shocked. Like it's crazy.
Man-Bat, you've got some pyromaniac dude. You've got Maxi Zeus.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
Who's the weird Templar guy who wants to be the new Batman?
Azrael.
That's right. He thinks, that's right. No, that's I loved that part because these are all things I didn't know he had the bad guys. I only knew the mainstream bad guys. I didn't know there were these other developed, fully fleshed out characters with backstories, and that was a lot of fun. That's one of the most fun parts of playing these games was for me.
It really is.
And that's kind of part of the narrative in this one.
There are lots. Did you know? You saw in the story, Ra's al Ghul has a daughter, Talia al Ghul.
Yes.
And you've got a romantic relationship with her, on off.
Yes, that's a thing, right? In Batman.
In the comics,
yeah,
I think I might be remembering this wrong, but you actually have a son with her.
Whoa. Okay.
You get a kid with her, and then this kid turns into the latest Robin.
Yeah, this is where I get very confused. Because
why?
No, because there are I remember this game, and I don't want to spoil this too much. And I know there are different universes of Batman in comics and all this jazz.
Yes.
So sometimes it's Robin, and then it's Robin, and it's Darkwing, and now there's another Robin, and sometimes Robin's dead. I get very confused. Is the Robin that's dead, was that Batman's son, or was that just another Robin? That's exactly.
That's just another one. Okay. You've got 4. You've got the original one, right?
Yeah.
Dick Grayson.
Yeah, that's right.
That turned into Nightwing.
Okay, yeah.
He's now a young adult. He's somewhere in his 20s.
Okay, cool.
And then you've got...
He's angsty, right? Didn't he stop being Robin because he didn't want to be under Batman's thumb? And then
No, that's the second one. That's Jason Todd.
See, there. Okay, there. See, this is where it gets confusing. Okay, got you.
Jason Todd got murdered by the Joker in the 90s in a comic run called Death in the Family.
Okay, yeah.
Right, and in pure comic fashion, it turned out he didn't die at all.
Of course, right?
He came back as the Red Hood. And
yes,
the Red
and you were going to
Hood,
say that.
Yes,
yeah.
He isn't affiliated with Batman at all publicly, but sometimes it's like they've got each other on speed dial.
Yeah,
but they both
those
do
circumstances
their own
when they'll talk to each other, but only if it's like really risky or the city's in danger or something. Yeah,
he's the haunted Robin, so he kills when he feels like killing, but he still upholds justice.
Yeah.
And in his off time, he gets drunk because that's Red Hood. That's the second Robin. The next Robin, I can't remember what his name was. I think I can't remember what the third Robin was. But he turned into Red Robin.
Red Robin, yeah.
And
was
then
that an angrier Robin?
I don't know. I think it was just a redder Robin. And then the fourth one is the current Robin, Damian Wayne.
Okay. Oh, so he's a Wayne. So he's genuinely Batman's son. Yeah.
And I think this is Talia's kid with him. I don't know. I don't know.
See, now it's even confusing you.
It is.
See, this is confusing you. Yeah,
this is very confusing. You're right. He's the current Robin. It's like he's almost being trained by Red Robin.
Yeah,
but he's still Batman's sidekick or something.
Yeah, every time I say Red Robin, you've watched Friends, right?
Yes.
All I think of is Red Ross. I'm not sure if you've seen the episode where Ross is playing rugby. And Ross says that he has to get angry now, so he's going to go Red Ross, and he just goes, and then goes back into the rugby game. Now, every time I just think you say Red Robin, it just sounds like a version of Robin that's going, and then goes to beat up the bad guys. But that's just how my mind works, I suppose.
I'm going on about these Robins for too long. We need to get
it's true. Narrative of the game. Now, the narrative of this game is actually quite long. It's quite complicated. When I started playing the game just the other day, I was like, okay, I remember. It's Arkham City. You're Batman the Vigilante. You've got criminals to just clean up, to beat up, and, get back into line. But I completely forgot about the infection side and the Hugo Strange side, him being kind of a megalomaniac. And I was like, whoa, I luckily forgot all this, so this was up there for me. And the whole, like I said, I don't want to do too many spoilers, but the story is intense. It starts off kind of like...
another routine night for Batman.
Yeah, exactly. And then it gets pretty up there with the fact that everyone, he's close to dying, he needs a cure. Classic story, you're infected by something, you need an antidote. But the way that they intertwine is it Dr. Freeze? I don't know. The Freeze. Arnold Schwarzenegger from the movies. It's the only thing that came in my head. Dr. Freeze.
His real name's Victor Freeze.
Of course. Because
you know his story.
Like how are you not?
I could just talk about
his
Batman's
wife.
entire
His wife is sick, right?
His wife
and
Nora is sick,
yeah.
And he freezes her to halt the damage. So he needs to find a cure before he can unfreeze her.
I'm sorry, but with a name like that, how are you not going to become a bad guy?
Victor Freeze.
If I was, Victor Freeze, you're going to turn into the life of crime because you got a badass name. Like
exactly.
Sorry, that's just going to happen.
It's like when you meet someone called William Byrne. He's gonna be an arsonist.
Yeah, you want to stay away from him. Exactly right. But yeah, it's the story is a lot better than I remembered. And I understand now why it won the Game of the Year. It won lots of storytelling awards because it really is kind of intricate. And even the parts where you start seeing the Joker when he's not actually there, when he's in your head, so to speak.
Exactly.
Right?
You don't realize it, but the Joker does play with your mind through this game.
Yeah, no, it is
when you
intricately done.
When he reveals that he has been playing with your mind, you think, oh shit, Joker's not been playing Batman, he's been playing me, the player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, exactly right. And I love from my naivety of the whole thing. I'm sure there's plenty of Batman fans and who know all the lore when they were playing through it. They're like, that's that, and that's that. But later on, when you realise it was Clayface, I won't go too much into it, because I didn't even really know Clayface existed. I was like, whoa!
Well,
that's mental.
It's a Clayman!
Who's that? Who's that? And what's going on? And did we just kill him? And it was there was aspects to the storytelling. This was just a lot of fun. It's like watching a movie, but you play the role, and I enjoy. Who doesn't enjoy that?
That is one thing that the Batman stories does have the ability to play with a lot. A lot of people like Christopher Nolan's Batman. It's extremely serious, right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Right, and you don't need a big suspension of disbelief to get into these movies. But these comic book Batman stories, you don't think about these things. Just go along for the ride and you'll be fine. There's a lot
the best way to do it. Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of campiness and goofiness.
Yeah.
But that's good. I like the campiness and goofiness.
Yeah, it's just another quill in the hat of escapism, isn't it? Everything's super serious. Life is serious enough. You need some wacky. You need some campy. You need some just bizarre stuff just to make your escapism fully captured. So
exactly.
To speak.
Like Two-Face, he's just burned on the one side of his upper torso or something.
Yeah.
And then now he develops two personalities.
That's the guy who was the attorney, right?
Yes, he was the attorney. So one personality is still fair attorney justice. The other part is this violent, aggressive man who just wants to murder everything. And he jumps between them constantly. So now he's derived this obsession with duality. Good,
makes
bad,
sense. That's
black,
the
white.
Flipping the coin, right?
Exactly. Heads, tails. It's just that. And it's so... It gets campy and goofy when you see, oh, wait a minute. The left side of his suit is clean and the right side is burned.
That's right.
Did he do that on purpose? The left side of the entire courthouse is neat. The other side of the courthouse is busted. Did he do this himself with the sledgehammer?
He's an intricate dude, isn't he?
Why? The campiness and goofiness is cool.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
It's cool.
It's why I liked the old movies. I know it's one of those weird things to say, but I loved Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face in... I don't know.
Oh, right,
Batman,
yes.
I forget. I loved him, Two-Face, and Jim Carrey as the Riddler. For me, those will be... I know they're not everyone's favourite, but for me as a child, those are my favourite ones, and I loved those... And he was... Tommy Lee Jones was so campy in that. He had two girlfriends, one angelic and one devilish.
Yes, but a lot of people find that as a bad thing. But I think it's on a case-to-case basis.
Yeah, I
in
agree.
Batman,
I agree.
and even in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man flicks, the campiness is a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, I agree entirely.
So I like that a lot. I really do. Do you
Anything
have
else narrative-wise?
No, not that I can think
No, I
of.
think it is... Yeah, I think
the last bit I'd like to say is, in the narrative for this game, Rocksteady really figured out to make you, the player, as Batman, be a big cog in everything that's going on. A lot of games like to make the big things happen when you're somewhere else.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Right? And then you get a phone call. Oh, little Sarah just got murdered and you weren't even here to see it. That happens constantly, but no. In this, thank you. In this game, the big things happen when you're in the room. It sounds like a small thing, but no, it's huge. It's good.
It's that same comic book thing. It's like I haven't read too many. The only Batman comic books I've ever read, or even just the beginning of, was the Injustice series, because I kind of like the premise from the games. You know, the Injustice games, the fighting games.
Yes, I've not played them though, but NetherRealm makes some good stuff.
Yeah, I like the stuff. I read the comic books of that, and that, like I said, it's the aspect that it's all happening at once. And sorry, the only reason I read the Injustice books is because Alfred beats the living crap out of Superman.
Is it that comic book?
Yeah, it's when I saw that scene, I had to read the rest of the comics because I wanted to know why, and that scene was brilliant. I loved it. But yeah, it's that same thing where it just develops the high stakes whilst you're there, which just keeps making you want to go further, albeit even if it's just Freeze has all of a sudden just frozen everyone, or the Penguin's goons have already suddenly just arrived whilst you were trying to be a detective. You know, it's those moments that just keep you going, which they, like I said, they do very well. And lots of other games have kind of lost sight of that because, like you said, it's now you've opened a book and you've got the quest marker for over there. So now you've got to spend 20 minutes getting over there. So now you do your little, it detaches from the flow of stories a lot of the time. I like it, but this does it better in my opinion. Okay, visuals. What did you think?
Visuals. I think that this is one of the games where art direction can really have the biggest impact on a game, even more so than graphical fidelity.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you. I think I know what you're saying, yeah.
Throughout the game, as you unlock Riddler trophies, they sometimes it's almost like they wanted to give you a little prize for each trophy, which is mental because there's 200-300 trophies.
440. I know, like
440.
That's what I read somewhere. I can't be, but that's what I wrote down here. Literally, I went back to my notes and wrote 440 Riddler challenges. I don't know if that includes the Catwoman DLC. I don't know if that has Riddler challenges in it too. But yeah, 440. Wow. But you were saying how cracking these puzzles gives you rewards, right?
Yes, for a lot of these Riddler trophies, you get some concept art.
That's right. No, I'm where you're going now, yeah.
I think they did this because they knew the art direction for this game is such pure gold that they wanted people to see. Look, this gold came from the minds of our art directors.
Yeah. No, like I said, I agree entirely because there's Arkham Asylum was good and it did the whole insane asylum and Batcave type aesthetic and rocks and stuff like that. That did it well, but it got a bit boring in my opinion. If I get the premise and it was good. I liked being inside the asylum than I did outside and going into the rooms and like everything. But what I loved about this is the areas within Arkham City. You'd go to one area and it's all ultraviolet neon signs, and then you'd go to another area and it's industrial harbor. And it's dark and dingy, and then you go to another place, and it's like a nightclub and stuff like that. See, that reminds me of a lot of like the 90s Batman 2, and it had that weird. There's a chaos to the landscape, which I liked about it because it also makes it less real and makes it more Batman, more fantasy, more comic booky, which I thought I really liked swinging between or gliding. Sorry, I'm not Spider-Man. Gliding between buildings and such like that was, I loved this. Exploring the city was a lot of fun, which I enjoyed compared to the first one of Arkham Asylum.
It really does give off the vibe that this is almost an old 90s noir film.
Yeah.
Right? You've got those dingy alleyways with steam coming from the sewer pipes.
Yeah, that's right.
Everyone just in big overcoats, and you've got a jazz trumpet in the background. And everything's black and white.
You're right. You're exactly right.
Really do get some of that noir feelings from Batman stories. And I think they incorporated that into this game quite well too. Because of, as you said, those neon signs, dingy streets, everything almost just being black and grey.
Yeah, it's very, Tim Burton-y. You can see it's been brushed with the Tim Burton type. Well, don't get me wrong, the whole Batman universe is that's why Tim Burton did the movies the way they are, because there is, like you said, the detective noir aspect to it has always been kind of there in Batman stories. It's dark, it's dingy, Batman seems to have all the best tech whilst the police are still using like the notepads and stuff like that. There's a weird, which I enjoy, like you said. I love the noir aspect to it because it's another escapism aspect. There's insanity and there's control. It's I'm just thinking about it. I do love that type of thing.
It almost feels like Batman could be the perfect mixture of detective noir and just straight up fantasy.
Yeah, no, I agree that they do cross those two boundaries. Yeah, I agree entirely. It's very. I must admit, I've got a hot take visually That
Ooh.
I know.
Spill.
It might not be that.
I need to hear it. What's your hot take?
I don't like that everyone is so bemuscled and huge. I didn't like it in the first one that much. I'll give you that the women are all slender and there's the occasional slender person. But
Yes.
it's like the whole of Arkham City, which is sponsored by like whey protein or something, or it's in the water. Everybody is just massive.
Yes.
And I don't like that. It's weird, and I know I might be the only one, or I'm fussy, but I love the combat. Everybody loves the combat, but to think that everybody else there, and Batman himself, isn't particularly skinny.
Oh no, Batman is built like a truck.
Just like so ripped and like could just pick up cars and.
Alfred, bring me the bat whey protein.
Yeah, exactly. Give it. It's Alfred. Where's my steroids? No, it's. I don't like that side of things.
You mean your bat steroids?
Yeah, sorry, yes, of course. Everything has to have a bat before it. You're exactly right. To make it sound cool. I just don't like... I'm being very fussy, but the fact that everybody was just so muscled up just always made me think, come on, give me some variety. I get it, they're supposed to be just muscled goons. They're supposed to be just, it envisions that side. I just don't like it.
It goes back to the campiness.
Yeah, but also...
You don't have to like it.
No, it's true. I also don't like that Commissioner Gordon. Is it Gordon?
Yes.
He is also ripped. He is so ripped in this game. He could give Batman a run for his money. He is huge.
You should have seen him in the first game.
Yeah, I know. I know my Commissioner Gordons are
yes,
who is it?
Yes.
Gary Oldman from The Dark Knight. I liked him, and
what's
I know I can't.
Michael Irons.
Yes, exactly. And then I actually liked
Jeremy Irons, not Michael. Jeremy Irons.
I'm about to say. Sorry. I was going to say Mike. I like Commissioner Gordon's supposed to be smart, and he is smart in this. I give him credit, but the idea that he could also just crush a man, also just like I said, and it just detracted it a bit from me. Because they just all like, I could literally, they should all just be wearing spandex and just flexing every time that.
Just some fat old Gears of War vibes where even the scientists are linebackers.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. It is Gears of War-y, which I also didn't like much in that because they are, like I said, even the scientists are brick shithouses. Like, what's going on? Does everybody just do weights when there's nothing to do?
So
is that all we do?
It's so
But yeah, that's my hot take. I understand. And it makes Bane kind of look less badass.
But no, they make Bane look like a building.
Yeah.
You saw Bane, right?
I did, yes. Yes, in this game, yes, true, yes. And then he takes the Venom. Is it Venom?
Yes.
Right? I'm trying to be canon.
No, it's Titan.
He takes the juice. Oh, is it Titan?
It's Titan. He takes Titan, and he can pick Batman up with one hand. He can pick up Batman, I'm going to say it again, with one hand.
Commissioner Gordon looks like he can pick Batman up with one hand. The guy, he's wearing those, that's the sexy shirts all rolled up just so that it shows his bicep.
They fixed that. They fixed that in the second. I mean,
That's
third
true.
game.
They did.
They fixed that in Arkham Knight. He's wearing one of these dorky rain ponchos.
Yeah, that's true. That's for me. That's perfect.
Exactly. Same. That
smart.
fits Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, he plays the game. He's smart. He needs Batman to be the muscled vigilante side. This Commissioner Gordon goes to the mirror, wakes up, and said, "I'll wear a shirt today." And he's like, "You know what? This isn't showing my abs enough." No. And then he just pulls a bit tighter, and he just rolls up his sleeves and just does his
shouts
moustache.
back, "Barbara,
like, yeah.
Barbara, bring my crop top."
Yeah, exactly. He's like, do I have time to do the guns this morning? But yeah. My hot take, I don't like that everyone is muscled.
It's hilarious.
Give me some muscly guys, cool.
Here's my hot take. I should have added this in narrative. I completely forgot.
Go on.
I said the campiness and goofiness is cool and fits so well. I just don't like the idea. They made a part of Gotham City into a prison.
Yeah, that's.
I don't like that they took an area of a city and said, "Oh, that's a prison now."
Yeah, that's nonsensical.
Exactly.
That's one thing that bugs me about it as well, because they made it a prison.
They are apartments.
Yeah, exactly. Right? But they gave them so many utilities.
Exactly. Even
it's weird. Yeah.
The police station is in this prison.
I know. That's right. Yeah, right? It doesn't.
The courthouse.
Have much sense.
There's some industry happening over there.
Yeah, right. They got.
Why is it all in a prison?
That's a sweet luxury prison by all accounts. They can party. They have food and drink. They got. They can do what they want. I guess in theory it plays into the narrative later on in the story, right? Because of what Hugo Strange inevitably wants to do to the whole city.
And the mayor, of course, but I just...
Yes.
That is one tiny bit that just doesn't fly with me.
It doesn't really make much sense. That's exactly right. It's like you're supposed just to ignore that part. It's like, yeah, we did it, but that's not the point. Just go with it.
Okay, we're at 40 minutes now. We need
Okay.
Let's go to audio.
It's a shame, but audio is one of the big bits.
Because I was so great.
I was online. I was checking out, because you know them and I don't. I was checking out the voice actors.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, let's see who's playing that, and then this massive list of what is only can be described as AAA voice actors just came up, and I was like, damn, they got funding for the second one, because like you said, we got Kevin Conroy was Batman. Mark Hamill, of course, Joker, legend.
Those two alone has most people on board.
Now, you all know these people better than I do. Quincy Sharp. Who's Quincy Sharp?
That's the mayor.
The mayor. He was played by Tom Kane. And this made me laugh. Do you know who else Tom Kane did the voice of?
No.
Darwin from the Wild Thornberrys. You know that little...
The little boy. The little...
Oh no, it's the monkey. Sorry, I'm being waved down.
Monkey.
It's the monkey. Sorry, I thought Darwin was no. That makes more sense. It's the monkey. Sorry, I thought it was the little boy. No, okay, so he plays the monkey from Wild Thornberrys, which was just a wild step up. I just thought to myself, I love the idea. It's what I like about voice actors.
Yes,
you can see them play like a super serious role,
the range,
and then all of a sudden they're playing a Thundercat or a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle baddie or something like that. I love that type of thing.
It's very good. No, I like it. Have you got more voice actors?
I do. David Kane, who played Commissioner Gordon's voice in this. He also plays Clank in Ratchet and Clank games. Yeah, right.
So cool.
Do I need to mention Troy Barker or Baker?
Troy Baker.
Sorry.
Who did Troy Baker?
Now,
who did
Robin and Two-Face in this. He played both of them or voiced them. And I give you a list of the other, it's a small one.
Some range.
But I don't need to give you all the other characters he's done. He's done like a bazillion voices, especially
he's done
now.
Tons. We'll be here for the entire hour.
He's in everything. Yeah.
Yes.
That was just a handful. I couldn't believe all the voice actors, and the Warner Brothers chucked some money at that side of things in this game because
they know this is gonna be just making large amounts of money for the next 10-20 years.
It did. It made a ton of cash because the first one did so well, and the expectations of the second one were so high, and then they actually met the expectations, which is very rare for a game franchise. But no, they knew that what they had on their hands here, and they knew they needed to spend some money to make it good, and they did. This was crazy.
They did. For our much younger audience, the impact that the first game, Batman Arkham Asylum, had on the industry is almost the same that Marvel's Spider-Man had on the industry. A lot of people said the game is so good, it just makes you feel like Spider-Man.
No, it's
which came from the big meme in 2009 when Arkham Asylum came around, and it made you feel like Batman.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It was I played some of the older Batman games years and years ago. Batman for the Sega Mega Drive. Those games were hard.
The difficult one. Yes, those are.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Those games were hard.
Oh, man.
But you're right. There's something about these games. And later on, I'd suggest it's down to the gameplay as well. But it makes you feel like Batman. Who doesn't want to feel like Batman? You know, you don't want to just punch things. you want to be suave, you want to be a detective, you want to be rude, you want to be a vigilante.
You want to be the predator that makes people scared because they know you're around.
That's right. And that does that in this game so well, like I said. And audio-wise, like just having those legendary voice actors makes the whole thing play like a movie again because they're so good at what they do. Like Mark Hamill as the Joker, I always find it remarkable. Now, I like Mark Hamill because he's Star Wars. He's from the greatest franchise in history.
He's Luke Skywalker.
In history, which I'm sure you'll agree is the greatest trilogy in history. But yeah, the ability, how any of them personify a character in the way they deliver just voice lines.
Yes.
Always blows me away. And he does the Joker just so insanely well. It's almost, you know, I don't comprehend how he does it. But I love it. And
same.
What do you want to add? Sorry, I can go on a rant for too long.
I think the voice actors are incredible, but also what's really good from this game is the music. I don't need to explain why the music's good. If you play the game or if you listen to the soundtrack, you realize, oh wow, oh goodness, the music is excellent. Parts of the soundtrack fit really well to what you would think Batmaning would sound like. No, it's an odd sentence.
I love the verb. I love the verb Batmaning. Yeah, go on.
In the parts where you are the predator and you are picking off these gunned goons one by one, the music is right. It's soft, but it's still, how do I say this, menacing, but not in a way that makes the music sound bad or atonal even.
No, exactly.
Which can only lead me...
Go on, sorry, go on.
Which can only lead me to assume that they try to make the music feel menacing, but not to the listener. Meaning, there's danger in the area, but it's not towards you. Meaning, you are the danger as Batman.
Yes, no. It's one of those interesting things I read about those bits as well. They also, you know, you're in the room. If no one's played this, you're in the room. You're hanging out in the rafters, and it's the part where you have to try and stealthily take people down in like a puzzle type fashion to some degree. But they also increase the volume of the characters' conversations so that you can feel, because you're in the rafters. Excuse me. And because you can, in theory, hear everything because of the acoustics of the room a lot of the time, they actually play with the volumes of each character and then change the acoustics in your headphones or depending on what you're playing on your system, so it comes from left to right, which is fairly common now. But if you play the game on those moments, because it's as you said, they've made the music become softer but more quiet but intense, and they've upped that side so that it feels like you are stalking. You are an animal stalking your prey. You are
you are
and
the
they did that they literally changed the entire audio aspect of those little scenes just to build that like single-mindedness of you are now hunting compared to solving a mystery and stuff like that. No, it's very well done. It's crazily well done.
Before we move on to gameplay, which could be a nice chunky segment, the last thing I want to mention in audio is there's a progression in one of the songs, or it's a motif that they use across all of the different parts of the soundtrack. But there's a progression that they use that I think is so incredibly well done. I would not be surprised if that is the main motif across the soundtrack. For those who don't know what a progression is, it's a tiny bit of harmony, let's say 3 or 4 triads, right?
Yeah.
And when these are used as a motif, it means something in the soundtrack.
Can you give us a example in other games or movies or something where they would use such things so that we can...
Oh, geez, I can't think of one right now. But it's a very recognizable bit in a soundtrack that you immediately start to think of something else. Oh, okay. In Dark Souls, right? When you fight the final boss, Gwyn the Lord of Cinder, there's a
flexing those remembering names. Just go on.
It's not a big bombastic epic orchestral song. it's just a guy on a piano playing descending notes, and it's become a meme in the community called Plin Plin Plon, which sounds dumb, but go listen to the song.
It's literally that, if you were to try to verbalize the sounds, right?
Exactly. It's literally that. And that motif has been used as the ending of this game, not being a big epic sequence, but something sad.
Yeah.
And they even brought that exact motif back into the final boss of Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Yeah.
Right. That's a motif. The motif used in Batman Arkham City is more subtle, and used less throughout the game. But still, it's in the credits, and it's not even done by an orchestra. It's sung by a choir.
Oh, I do like that. I always like there's I've got a very weird soft spot for choirs, and I know it's a weird thing to say. There's a Final Fantasy X. There's a song called "Hymn of the Faith," which is just done by a choir, a male, a female choir, and it's my favorite song of all time in games.
Oh,
because nice. and I do. Sorry, I love. Strangely, I love orchestral, but I do have a weird soft spot for, I guess, choir type music without any instruments. I don't know how actually we call that. Is that? No, I don't know what you call. Anyway, continue. Sorry, I'm interjecting.
I think what I'm trying to get at with this progression is it doesn't make me think about Batman as he's fighting or stalking or detectiving, but in the off moments where he's in the corner being stoic and somber, and those moments when you find Batman just thinking about the quieter moments. He's maybe thinking about his parents or the life he could have had if he wasn't Batman. And that's what this progression makes me think about. And that is what convinces me that Rocksteady understands Batman on a deeper level than anyone else. It's remarkable
to think that they can put that into just a simple progression of sound or as you said, a motif. The idea that at moments they kind of ground you again by just using a few chords. Like you said, it grounds you enough to think that he's still just a human guy. He lost his parents as a kid.
Exactly.
He's still going through stuff as a human, but he's still Batman, vigilante, billionaire, badass. No, I get it. Like I say, to be able to translate that into music is insane. Like I said, that's something
it really is. Not just music, a song, but
no, I agree.
A progression, 3 chords.
Yeah,
it's
no, exactly right. No, I agree entirely.
But that's my last take for audio.
Okay, let's jump into gameplay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
3 parts of the gameplay. 3 bits of the gameplay loop. Or maybe 3 separate gameplay loops. In this game is just addiction. What is it, addictive or addicting? Which one?
You know what really annoyed me is that I thought it was addictive, but in the English language there is the word addicting, and that's really frustrating because it sounds wrong, but it is grammatically correct. The combat is addicting. I know, it sounds so wrong, but I looked it up. I would say addictive. I prefer addictive. This is addictive. The combat's addictive.
Let's go with addictive. The 3 gameplay loops I'm talking about is combat, obviously you mentioned.
Yeah.
The Predator sections we were talking about a couple minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I think the detective bits, when he's just being a detective, talking to Alfred. You're not doing anything, but that's the part of Batman that a lot of people don't see.
It's funny because I wrote down the same type of points, but I've got 5.
Ooh,
and you only have 3.
Give me. Is gliding one of them?
Yes!
Yeah!
gliding was one of them. It's a small one, but it is a fun one. Like, so and the other one is the puzzles. There are puzzles. There are fundamental puzzle aspects to this game.
I'd slot the puzzles in with detective work.
Yeah, there is. Yes, that's true. But the puzzles are kind of everywhere.
That's an argument.
Yeah, but there's detective, there's the stealth bits. Yeah, go on.
Please tell me you completed at least the first batch of the AR missions.
Oh, yes, I did. In my first run. Not this time around, but I have definitely done them. Yes, correct.
So you unlocked the grapnel boost?
Yes. Yeah, 100%, yes.
Last time...
The one where you... That's right. When you grapple and then you press the button again to go even higher.
Yes, and then you spring off of the edge that you grappled on, and then you just glide further. Right.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I did when I booted this game.
No, it's cool. It just reminds me now, they do the same thing in Spider-Man, don't they? You know, when you swing and then and then you jump off the edge to get a bigger boost. So just
if you time it right.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. I want to play Batman and Spider-Man right now.
That's right. No doubt. No, it is. The gameplay is up there. Everything, like you said, even the detective parts are a lot of fun. You know, who doesn't like that? I don't know if it's the older school in us. I don't know what the younger people are. I love playing detective games, be it LA Noir, even the old school point and click ones that are all detective-y. I love. And to have Batman, who's fundamentally an iconic, almost ultimate detective.
Yes.
Some people would argue not so much. But yeah, to be able to have that, to have a combat system that is
Kyoko's
just...
the ultimate detective.
Who is?
Kyoko.
Oh,
You've played Danganronpa.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you got me there. Sure. you throw names at me and I'm like, who's that?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what's he on about now? Okay, yes, you're right. But the combat system in this, it's one of those... It's so much fun that you find groups of bad guys just to go beat them up. Even if it's not anything to do with what you're doing, or it doesn't unlock anything. You just
see them hanging out. They could be playing chess in the street.
Yeah, you're actually quite mean, because they're just hanging out having a conversation, or just, you know, being bodyguards, and you just think, oh, I'll fly down there and just beat the living snot out of them. Why not?
Batman's so mean. He's mean to Dr. Freeze. He's got this life liquid, and Batman just chucks it on the ground.
I know, right? He is
mean.
But it's one of those... Sorry, you just reminded me of the narrative that Joker and... Remember, you know the narrative that Joker and Batman are actually best friends?
Yes.
That without one another, they would be nothing?
Yes,
which is,
Hugo Strange,
yin and yang
he says that even without your presence created these monsters.
Which is kind of the point, and I actually played that narrative through... I didn't write it down, but that narrative plays out through this game quite well as well. Because I won't give in, but there was one part where... I won't spoilers too much. There's one part where he could have let Joker, die. He had the choice to, but he doesn't.
Yes.
You know the part I mean? Which just emphasized how much he doesn't want the Joker to go. Because
you know what?
It's interesting. Sorry. We're talking about gameplay. Sorry, yeah.
I mean, without these villains, there would be no purpose for a Batman, and
he would just be a billionaire.
Exactly, and he even stated that he doesn't think of himself as Bruce Wayne. He thinks of himself as Batman.
No, he gets lost in his identity.
So without these supervillains, he wouldn't have an identity or a need for an identity. It's
anyway, it's deep. Yeah, there's some deep lore there. The combat system in here is so much fun. I think Batman penned it first, right? Because I remember there was did you ever play Sleeping Dogs?
No, but I know of it, and I know it did good. Chinese GTA type thing.
Yeah, it's the counter system. You know, where you get a little spidey sense in this kind of game when a little mark comes up saying you can't counter now, or you jump now, or you grab now. You know, it's the little icons that come up above people when you fight.
Yes,
and that for me, that's such a fun system because it's both good, easy for newcomers. It's got some nuance in it when you've got everybody's hated bad guy, the shield people. You know, shield people in any game are the worst. I hate them in every sense of the word. But I understand it adds complexity to gameplay. But the gameplay in this, it's like watching little movies. The idea, the little moves, and depending on where you stand and you pull off your move, depends on the knockout animation or the slide, or when you use a Batmarang. Is that what
Batarang?
Batarang, sorry.
Just a Batarang.
It's. I want to say Batarang Peter. Would you know that reference?
No, what? Batarang? What are you talking about?
Sorry. There's You ever heard of the movie Hook? Hook. Robin Williams plays Peter Pan.
Yes, Hook. Oh, good.
They say Bangarang, which is like their slogan for
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, and it just when I said Batmarang and you said I just heard Batmarang Peeler in my head. I'm a complicated person. Sorry, I could go off some silly rants. But the combat system, like I said, it's so much fun. There's so much
really
little
is.
nuances depending on where you stand and who you're fighting and which attacks you use. It's like I said, it's that gameplay loop you often say to us. You often bring up. It's addictive. The aspect of just finding a bad guy or finding a boss that you know that it's not going to be a normal fight, and they do those like boss puzzles like most games have. What do you pick up? How do you destroy the environment here or something like that? You know, it is a lot of fun.
And what I enjoy a lot is when you think you've mastered the combat, they throw a spanner in the middle of it all. Either one of them is in cahoots with the Riddler, so you need to keep him last. You need to keep him as the last one standing to interrogate him. Or
that's right.
One of them has a knife or a shield or a stun baton, or one of them has the Titan juice, whatever. It just mixes up combat.
It's fundamentally a little puzzle within combat.
Exactly.
You've got to work out who first, who last, what gadgets to use whilst in the fight to optimize your combo. Of course, you're trying to build up your combo to earn the most experience after each fight.
Here we go. What's the largest combo you had? Come on. It's measuring time.
Oh, God. I remember when I first played this game, you know that, I don't know if it was this game or the other game where you had those AR things where you had to get the highest combo, or no, you had the levels where you weren't allowed to get hit. Remember you had to clear these rooms, and you had to get. I'll be honest.
One of the objectives was to not get hit. Was that what you're talking about? Okay.
Those used to drive me mental because I'd get there and it was like the last bad guy, and he'd just like slap your calf, and it would be like, game over. I'm probably only about 100. Okay. I know that's not impressive, but
it is impressive. What are you talking about?
What did you get?
I don't remember what I had for when I played this game 10 years back.
This time round?
This time round, I think the highest I got was 55.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I'm sad.
What are you talking about?
No. It's one of those things because I forget.
55's a lot. That's 55 punches.
There's one of those things I forget because in the first or second one, I don't know if it's this now. It's the first one, I think. Where's the ones that turn into big, like, dinosaur Brutus grey things? Is that the first one?
What are you talking about? But, who got the Titan juice, like Bane.
Yeah, and they turn into big, bemuscled grey things. And there was a combo
you ride on.
Yes, and you ride into the wall, and then there was a combo you do where you just smack them in the chest like 20 times. Can you remember that combo?
Isn't that how you fight Bane in the first one?
Yes, but later on they developed that into the combat of random other people who've been taking the juice. Only reason I bring this up, I might be getting my score wrong because you could get like an easy 15 to 20 on that combo.
Yes, I remember.
Batman just smacks him in the chest or face or whatever for like 20 punches. And
you could do that in this game as well. All you need to do is stun them and then you put, flurry of punches.
That's right. That's it. See, I just get the two mixed up. So that's why it's even close to high, because I liked those animations. I don't know why. I just like those little... It reminds me of being a kid when, you've got a bully and you think you can fight and you just swing your hands around like...
All of a sudden, you're what? The Fist of the North Star?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, nice reference.
Thank you.
Fist of the North Star? That's like older than you are.
I think it's older than you are.
Yeah, it could be. I'm shocked. He just did an anime reference out of nowhere, which is impressive. Damn. Yeah, I like those scenes. So I've got Fist of the North Star playing through my head now.
Yes. Okay. Come back, Dave.
So anyway, gameplay. Everything is so good in it.
It is so good. The combat is addictive. The Predator sections is a power fantasy. That's all it is. Right? When you're taking down 9 goons and the 10th one is just shitting his pants in the middle.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good bit. That's very true.
And you're just sitting in the dark behind him thinking, hell yeah, bow to me.
The last one was always a gliding takedown for me because they always look so cool. Everybody else,
Yes.
I'd always string up mainly on the gargoyles or the rafters. The last one I always finished off with like, and then knock out. I always like.
Oh yes! Oh, the slow mo fun.
Right,
punch.
that's all. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'd
Come
always
on.
do at the last one.
That is the most satisfying. Have you ever played Smash Ultimate?
A little bit, yeah, but I'm not like most people who are addicted to that game. But go on, yeah.
Right at the end of a match, the final smash that's going to send someone trailing off.
That's true.
Has the second where it just zooms in and there's this loud pshing, and they fly off. I'm pretty sure that is some cocaine as addictive substance.
It is. It's true. It's very true. They know what us gamers like.
Exactly, and they do the same in this game. The final punch, it's got this.
I love it.
Your fist is trailing through the air, and then. I'm making these noises. It doesn't do anything, but wow, it is so satisfying.
No, that's true. I know all the things, but like, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to someone who actually, on their first playthrough, did all the Riddler puzzles too, right?
Oh man, that's right. Yes,
all of them.
Yes, Are you ready? I've not only gotten all the Riddler trophies for Arkham City.
Yeah.
I've also gotten all the Riddler trophies for Arkham Asylum and Arkham Knight as well.
Now, I liked Arkham Asylum because when you got the trophies, they unlocked like lore, didn't they? And like you were saying earlier,
yes, a lore.
I liked that
story.
because I was learning a lot about Batman characters back then, which was cool. So I did quite a lot of the riddles. I didn't do all of them.
My favorite in Arkham Asylum is because this is where all the supervillains are housed. Sometimes you would unlock an interview tape.
Yes.
And this character
those
that's
were cool.
not even
that's true.
in the game.
Yeah,
you just unlock this interview tape that sounds real. It sounds like the recording tape is being thrown around. It's a level of immersion that a lot of other companies just don't do.
Yeah, 100%. I liked those. Then we came to the puzzles in this. Say 400, maybe I don't know if that's the exact number. I like puzzles. I enjoy a puzzle. I'm a puzzler. But some of these puzzles got so frustratingly annoying. Like, sometimes, it took me a while to work out what they were. And sometimes the most annoying part, you'd come to a puzzle, but you didn't have the gadget for. And I'd be like, that's God,
annoying.
Okay, now...
I'm going to have to come back.
Where you have to control the Batarang, or whatever they're called.
Yes, the Sonic Batarang.
Yeah, and you've got to go down the cage, and then if it's upside down, it becomes inverted, and you've got to slowly go around so it hits the if I don't do that the first, 3 times, I just leave.
Really?
I just don't. I respect the perseverance it must have needed. And in this game, as I know, unlocks the secret ending, right? So you have to do all the puzzles to unlock a super special secret ending, which I just went on YouTube to watch because...
For Arkham Knight.
Oh, it's Arkham Knight, sorry, isn't it? Yeah,
it's Arkham Knight that has the secret ending.
I'm getting mixed up.
That was my first ending. I didn't even have the regular ending. My first ending was the super secret ending.
Oh, don't say that. Oh, God, the time and effort you put into it. I respect it. I'm just not one of those people. And of course, you're a big Batman fan, so it makes sense. There's
I am an avid Batman enjoyer.
Yeah, there's another layer there. But the puzzles in this are always fun. The puzzles are fun. Like I said, it's like the shrines in Zelda.
Yes!
Those are fun. I like those parts of things. There are sometimes a bit too many of them, but I do enjoy those too.
Do you know how many shrines there are in Breath of the Wild?
I think there's also 200 or something. How many is it? Is it more?
No, it's 128.
Okay, and in Tears of the Kingdom?
I don't know. I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom
yet. They're bound to up it. They're never going to say...
Nintendo, if you're listening to this, we're Critical Arcade, Nick and Dave. You'd like to sponsor an episode, please go ahead.
Yeah, no. The collector's edition one, because why not?
Ooh, with the Master Sword!
Yeah, exactly. We want that one.
Yes,
that looks cool.
Yes.
I bet who doesn't want that one? Anyway, gameplay. there's so much in it. It's so nuanced. It's so easy. I also like how easy it is for people to play it. It isn't one of those games like Elden Ring where you've got to be good. You can actually be perfectly okay at this game and complete it quite easily. I didn't even find the boss fights that hard either. They were fun to watch and
Yes.
cinematographic. No, what's
Cinematic.
Cinematic. Thank you. And I enjoy that part because it makes the game less stress. You're playing a story. You're not playing a skill game to some degree. And they do that so well.
I think one of my favorite parts of this game doesn't fit into any of the boxes we made. And that is when you're climbing Hugo Strange's tower. Yeah. It's just one big platforming segment.
That's right.
Where you need to use like 3 or 4 different tools just to get up there. That's a lot of fun. I always enjoy that part. Just climbing the tower, just platforming with gadgets, getting up there. That's a lot of fun.
It always makes me, like I said, it always makes me laugh that this is supposed to be reality. So Hugo Strange made that tower so that it was weirdly that difficult to climb, but also made little puzzles on it so that Batman could potentially use his little gadgets so that he could get to the top of it. But anyway, it's a weird thing. Anything else gameplay wise you want to add?
No, I'm good gameplay. For anyone that think we didn't talk about gameplay enough, go play the game. You won't be disappointed.
Seriously. Yeah, just pick up the game and play it. What's next? Performance.
This is going to be quick. I just had 2 minor glitches. That's it. It's if you hold L1, you scan the environment, and you usually do this to pick up some of Riddler's visual riddles, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Sometimes I would just be scanning a wall, and it would tell me, item is partially obstructed. And I think, what?
Oh, yes.
I'm scanning a wall.
Yeah.
Did it pick something up? And no matter what I do, it would be partially obstructed or nothing would be detected. That's a glitch because there's no riddle on that wall.
But it's one of those things where you're I had that once or twice, and I know exactly because you're looking at one wall and it's fundamentally like a ping, isn't it? It pings out around you. And it's picking up that you're almost close to an area to one that's like down the alleyway to the right, but there's no way for you to actually know that. And so, you spend 10 minutes like trying to reposition at this wall to see if you're going mad, but it still says obstructed. Yeah, that's true. That is kind of buggy.
It's infuriating, and it happened a couple of times.
No, that really was. That really is. And the second one?
The second one was just when I'm trying to do the same thing, but to tag a trophy to stay on the map for me to come back to later.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't tag the trophy.
Oh, that's odd.
So I'm thinking this scan thing is just a bit buggy.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too surprising.
Other than that,
I didn't. I, of course, wasn't making sure I could come back for trophies later. I'm not.
Oh, right.
but yeah, that is a tad odd. And like you said, you can see like things like that. You could imagine they let slip a little bit because they're concentrating on something else. It's not right, but it does happen. Yeah. And I can see that certainly being an issue. I myself didn't really have much performance issues. It ran fine. Everything kind of what I wanted to do did work. There was no crashing, nothing like that. But it's a good game, so they.
It's tight. Exactly. This is good stuff. I can't remember how it was at launch, but now it feels like most have been fixed. I don't think Rocksteady's games are buggy on launch.
No, I can't remember. If that was the case, we'd have heard all about it, just like Skyrim and stuff like that. Big games that are buggy. We all know the stories, how the news just likes to talk about them. Okay, value for money then.
This is weird because I think the value for money is good, not great, because the content in this game it's some quality content. That's some quality stuff.
Yes, no doubt.
I don't know, a weekend or a week, then you've seen most of it.
Yeah, it's one of those. I had a good time because I'd forgotten it, and that's just me and my brain sometimes. But you're right. If I'd remembered this game fully, it's not one that I'd play again But it's like watching any movie that's great and you know what's coming next. This game, again, so much of it is the story. That if you remember the story fully, the gameplay is fun, but you know what's going to happen. You know the twists and turns. You know what the main plot is and what's going on. That does take away from, say, they're picking it up again. You know, this isn't one of those games you pick up just to do the stealth sections or just to do the combat. You need the whole meal to me.
I don't think that's completely fine. I don't agree entirely. I think, again, if you like the gameplay loop of the Predator sections or the combat sections, you've got all those Riddler challenges, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Which does add some replayability.
That's true.
It's not excellent value, but if you like the gameplay loop, they've catered for it.
Yeah, and if you are an achievement hunter or a trophy hunter or whatever,
my condolences.
Yeah, but there is a lot there. And it's relatively varied if you take away the millions upon millions of puzzles. But the other side of the achievement hunting is there. The story development, the lore unlocking, it is quite fun compared to other games where the achievement hunting is just obscure or insane. I remember
you need to defeat what's that insane Gears of War achievement? You need to kill 5,000 multiplayer enemies.
Yes, the multiplayer one. Yes, I remember that. That's
gross.
Just it's not inventive in any way. It's like I remember even just we mentioned earlier, Sleeping Dogs had one where you had to just purchase all the clothes. And there were 1,000 clothes options. There was no need. They didn't give you any plus strength or dexterity or special. It was just purchase the socks and the hats and the shoes and the pants and the. And that's just boring. Jeez, that is so boring.
I'm sure we'll get to Sleeping Dogs in our list.
Yeah, I'm sure it is on the list. Yeah. But yeah, it is like you said. It varies depending on player. I've said before, I'm very narratively driven in games nowadays as I've gotten older. But if you are, like you said, the gameplay loop, you're more about the combat, you're more about the achievement hunting. This game's got a lot there for you. No, you're very true.
Correct.
It's all just perspective and likes and or dislikes.
I do think I know this is off of Arkham City, but have you heard of Rocksteady's new game, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League?
I've heard of it. That's been delayed again, though, right?
Yes. Have you seen the latest State of Play trailer thing? There's a big gameplay trailer where we go in depth on the game.
I can't 100%. I may have done, but I can't remember it. I remember watching all the State of Play things, but I can't say I've. It's now stuck in my head in any way. People
were excited because they did such a great job with Batman. They can't somehow muck up the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, understandable.
But from watching the trailer, it seems like they're mucking up the Suicide Squad.
I have seen the trailer. No, I've got it in my head now.
Yes.
I can see Harley Quinn and the shark guy and stuff like that,
just
right?
Flying through the air for some reason.
Yeah, that's right. No, I have seen that trailer. Yeah, that looks completely...
zero sense.
It reminded me of Saints Row. Have you played any of the Saints Row games?
The third one.
They're also balmy and weird like that. I agree. If you compare it to Batman in the slightest, it looks completely a different direction.
I don't have an issue with being balmy or weird or whatever.
No.
But the main... I bring this up in value for money because it seems like they've made a game just to house a shop and a battle pass.
Yes, they do. It's the thing at the moment, right? Yeah, no doubt.
It seems like the only reason they made this game is so they can sell you items in the game.
I hope that's not the case, but I understand what you mean whilst looking at that trailer. Yeah, no, if you look at the trailer,
everyone in the Suicide Squad, Killer Shark, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, they all just have guns.
Yeah, right.
And you could switch out the guns for other guns. And
it's very Fortnite-y. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean.
I'd say Borderlands-y. I'm just. How do you go to that from these Arkham games?
No, I agree.
I'm slightly appalled because I know everyone knows the only reason they did that because is because they can sell you stuff in game. I don't know.
Sadly, it's a proven concept. Yeah, it's a proven concept. Sadly, people will spend money on cosmetics, guns, swag. I don't know, whatever of the term. Hopefully that's not the case. But I kind of do side on the same thing you were saying. It does look.
So the value for money for Arkham City is great, but it does seem like Rocksteady has lost the plot these past couple of years.
Yeah, greed can do that to you. But yeah, we'll see. Proof is in the pudding when it comes out, by all accounts. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But is that what do we score this bad boy? Yeah.
Oh, Arkham City! It's too good. It's too good. The game's great.
It is.
I've finished the game, and I just want to play it again.
Well, yeah, it is one of those games, especially as there's a trilogy. Is the new what's that one that was broken? Just came out
Arkham
recently.
Origins?
Is that the one where you get to play Darkwing and Robin and Batgirl and Batman?
Oh, no. You're talking about Gotham Knights.
Is that a continuation in the storyline or not? Or is that a separate game? Okay, I'm just wondering. It isn't. They haven't taken the same... okay.
No, I'm just wondering. A separate storyline, separate game.
Good. Okay.
I don't think it was even made by Rocksteady.
No, it wasn't. But I just wondered if they got given the IP or not in that regards. Okay, yeah, anyway, what do we score this bad boy then?
Batman Arkham City for the PS3 and 360 from 2011, which is 12 years ago.
I know, don't get me started. Yeah.
Insane. We made our scores go into the weirdly prison part of Gotham City called Arkham City. I just don't understand it.
Weirdly, yeah.
Weirdly. Some of them got recruited by Two-Face, some by Penguin, some by Joker. But they all fought the Dark Knight in the middle of a room that's really not that dark.
That's true.
The only one that survived somehow got out of Arkham City to the letter grade rating of B. Straight up B. Regular B, baby. Good stuff.
And I think this is the first time we scored it exactly the same score. Different numbers, different categories. Oh no, Digimon World. We both scored 25 out of 100 on it, which is quite funny. But yes. Oh, and Subnautica, we both gave 80, I see here.
This is a good
third time.
Game.
It is.
Arkham City. You should play this game.
Oh, definitely. This is even the teenagers and stuff that may have missed it because it's relatively, did we just say 13 years old? It's definitely one you should pick up and just play because it's still so relevant and so much in there to do. It's so much fun. It is genuinely a fun game. Yeah, and that's why we gave it a B.
Which is a good score. A lot of people are thinking, if it's not a GTFO.
Exactly right.
No,
and to be honest with you, we talked about this before. Not one of our games have had an A+ yet, so...
It's gonna come.
Our scoring parameters are pretty up there. To get an A+, it has to fundamentally be perfect, well, which would be amazing, but it doesn't exist just yet. So a B is a very good game. It is a very. We
didn't even give Chrono Trigger an A+.
No.
We didn't even give God of War Ragnarok an A+. That game does have some funky pacing issues.
Yeah, like I said, we're looking for perfection when we're doing the A+. Well, so
it's definitely not going to be our It's definitely not going to be our next game.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Critical Arcade Podcast. If you'd be so kind, leave us a review on whatever app you're listening your podcasts on. It would help us a ton just to get in front of more ears. You could follow us on our social media channels on Threads, and Instagram. You could also catch me on email. I'm nick@criticalarcade.com.
And I'm Dave at criticalarcade.com.
But besides for your email, Dave, please tell us, where else can we stalk you?
Well, I am out and about. I'm always out and about there. But I do have, if you do come anywhere near me, I will make you do every single one of the Riddler puzzles, every single one of the Riddler trophies. But I will make you do it with a controller that doesn't work that well. The analog sticks will lag. About? The analog sticks will lag. The buttons won't press properly, and it will be the most infuriating, because I found it infuriating when my controller worked. So I'm going to make you sit through all of them, and you're not allowed to leave. You're not allowed to go to the bathroom. You're not allowed to eat. You're not allowed to go home. You're not allowed to see your loved ones. You've got to do it all. You've got to do all those puzzles and all those trophies. Granted, if that's your type of thing, I'm just kind of scared that you're going to come out and follow me, because that could be someone's jam.
Don't do it. Don't follow Dave. That's a horrible time.
Yeah, just don't do it.
Rather, support us on Patreon for exclusive content, where we make new episodes each week, just talking about things, the industry, movies, games, whatever. Just you can check us out on to get that, and you could also follow us to get access to a brand new show. I can't call it brand new anymore.
Yeah, it's been going for a while now. But
to an entirely different, exclusive show called Critical Cinema, where we talk about movies in the same format we dissect games in this podcast. Very cool.
Yeah, it's a good time. Yeah, no doubt. A lot of fun.
David, how about you tell us what won't be getting an A+ next week?
It's one of those weird scenarios. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, we seem to be stalked by a certain genre of game. A game that...
I don't get it.
Just our list keeps making us play. It's another Digimon game. This time, it's Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, which is, weirdly, we played a detective in this game. We're now going to be playing a kind of detective in a Digimon game. Fundamentally, one of the better Digimon games. It's people say.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
That's only because you've had to play the other Digimon games.
That's an oxymoron. Better Digimon games.
But this is more like, I don't know, what, Pokemon-y, I think, than the other games.
Okay, that's so I've not played it yet.
So it is what it is. We got another Digimon game where we get to play a cyber sleuth.
How?
Detective.
We've got 2,500 games on our list.
Yeah, I know.
And 3 Digimon games have snuck into the top 50.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I don't even know how many. There could only be like 6 on there.
Oh, jeez.
On the list. And we've had 3 of them. Like, the odds are insane. But yeah, It is what it is. All hail the list.
All hail the list. But that seems
to
be
it. Digimon. Right. Go figure.
Another thanks for listening to this week's episode. Please catch us next week for Digimon Cyber Sleuth. And we'll see you then. Cheers.
Cheers.